of course, by Audi Crooks, the sophomore, the leading scorer in the Big 12 this season.
Well, the All-American from a year ago has just increased her efficiency. She's increased her points per game. She buries defenders. She's got remarkable hands. Her teammates put it up anywhere near the rim. She goes to get it. 2 feet in the paint is money for Audi Crooks.
You see the numbers, better than 22 points a game. That's 7th in the country. As I mentioned, the leading scorer in the Big 12. For Kansas State, no Aoka Lee again today, but this is a team that can beat you in a variety of ways.
Well, they're second in the nation in field goal percentage. Why is that important? Because when this team's knocking them down from deep, they are sharing the ball, and 4 players during the month of February were shooting close to 40%. That is Sides, that is Sundell, that is Landon, that is Poindexter. Something to watch. Or how are they getting their 3 stay? Or is it coming off assists for the Wildcats?
Take a look in the wins versus losses for Kansas State. Taryn Sides, outstanding shooter. She comes off the bench. They've lost 4 times in Big 12, most recently at home to Baylor on Monday. In that game, they were 2 for 15 from outside the 3-point line. So they'll need that 3 to drop here today on the road in a tough place to play. Hilton Coliseum on Senior Day. 1 senior for Iowa State. It's an important one. Emily Ryan, the point guard, who's off the ball at the moment for Iowa State.
And something to watch is that both these coaches said we want to try to mix up our defenses because both head coaches have so much respect for their opponent's point guards.
Looks like Iowa State ran a play for the senior to get things started. You take a look at the starting 5 for this Kansas State team. For Jalen Glenn, career start number 130. For Serena Sundell, career start number 134. That sets a new K-State record. She breaks the record held by her teammate, Aoka Lee. Last touch by K-State will be Iowa State basketball. Their starting 5, Ariana Jackson, Ryan at the point, Kelsey Joens making her 7th straight start, Addy Brown's the number 2 scorer, and Crooks leading the way at better than 22 points a game.
So if you're an Iowa State fan, you're ecstatic with the way they just handled that full court pressure from K-State. Why? Because in the first game, 23 turnovers against the Wildcats.
They look inside, they find Addy Brown, averaging 15 points a game, went for 20 last time out against UCF. That was a win for Iowa State on Tuesday. Sundell will try to post up against Jackson. Good feed inside to Kennedy Taylor in the post in place of Lee, who's out again today. Here's some pressure in the backcourt from K-State. Inside for Crooks. Great start for Iowa State. From the floor, 3 for 3. Glenn pushed off on Jones. Turnover, K-State. So Iowa State 3 for 3 from the field, and K-State will bring some pressure back. Keys in this game, Christy. K-State, if they're going to win without Lee here today on the road, what needs to happen for the Wildcats?
Well, I go back to the open. They need to share the ball. When they are sharing the ball, they are really good, and the offense is just almost impossible to stop. Paint points is something to watch for K-State as well.
And they're going to press Iowa State.
And for Iowa State, they've got to take care of the basketball. The other thing Iowa State needs to do is defend the 3-point line. It's not been a strength for the Cyclones this season.
Brown will try it from deep, can't get it, and a rebound for Taylor. Here is Walker. Drop back to Poindexter, outstanding shooter, not this time, and Ryan's got a rebound.
Pace right now favors Iowa State. They've been able to get back in transition and force K-State to have to execute in the half court.
Foul called on Walker. There you see Jeff Mitty, 11th season as the K-State head coach, 33rd season as a head coach overall. Jones, that looks good. It is good. Kelsey Joens, as I mentioned, making her 7th straight start. What kind of difference has she made since she's been in the starting lineup for this Iowa State team?
Energy, energy, energy. She does all the little things, so that allows Crooks, Addy Brown, Emily Ryan to do their thing. And if you leave her alone, as we just saw, she'll knock it down from deep.
Ryan wants to work with Crooks on the screen. Well, Crooks will head in, post up on Taylor. Skipped over, knocked away the long reach of Sundell. Got a piece of it. Taryn Sides will come into the game. There you see Serena Sundell. She is on the short list for Player of the Year consideration in the Big 12. What has changed with her role with Lee out of the lineup for K-State?
Well, she's become a point post. And what do I mean by that? So much of the offense for K-State now involves Sundell getting down on the block. And then because of her 6'2 frame, she picks teams apart. She can also score from down there.
She can also play defense. Made it tough on Addy Brown. And here is Sides on the push. Sides spins it in for 2. You see Sundell in her career, 1,000 points, 500 assists, 50 blocks.
And rebounds, too. There's just not enough space on the graphic to
well,
show what this young lady does.
Everything that Serena Sundell's done well, we may need multiple pages. Maupin into the game, and that defense has been disruptive for K-State, turning it into points.
And they are on Iowa State. As soon as the ball goes through the net, they're setting it up. They want to make Emily Ryan work. They know that she is the brains of the operation, that she makes this offense go for Iowa State.
Jalen Glenn all over Ryan, who gets by. A little bit of a scream after that hoop because Glenn's been D'ing her pretty tough. Ryan's got 4. Maupin's got an offensive rebound. And a second chance here. Sundell can't hit the 3. Four minutes gone by, first quarter here in Ames. Second meeting this season between Iowa State and K-State. First meeting went to overtime in Manhattan. Looks great coming off of Jones's hands. 2 3-pointers for her. She is now 17 for her last 32 over 8 games from outside the three-point line. Locked in from distance, and now a turnover thanks to the Iowa State defense. Ryan and Crooks go to work.
And you see K-State bringing that double at Emily Ryan each time she goes off the on ball.
Brown's floater won't drop. Maupin's got the rebound. Poindexter. Shut off by Jackson. Three-pointer is good from Jalen Glenn. 44% from outside the three-point line this season. That's her 61st made 3. As Christy mentioned, you got a lot of three-point shooters on this K-State team.
Well, you talked about how other players on this court have been on tear. She's shooting 50% during the month of February. I'm eager to see what March brings for Jalen Glenn.
Crooks inside. If she gets it in there, it's usually over, and it's over. 4 points for Crooks. A couple of Cyclones waiting to check in at the scores table. We've gone uninterrupted here for a couple of minutes. Poindexter. And that will get us to immediate timeout as she's fouled, and we'll go to the free throw line when we come back to Ames. 5-point lead for Bill Fenley's team in the opening minutes here at Hilton. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Kansas State says, and Jeff Mittie told us today, they're being cautious here. They're confident, fully confident that she is going to be ready to go in the NCAA tournament. Why rush it now with her? But she is a difference maker if she's ready to go in the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely, because she is a rim protector from a defensive perspective, so she can make up for any mistakes that the perimeter players make for K-State. And then on offense, she's always an option because you can just throw it up to that 6'6 frame, and she usually goes and gets it.
They are 7-4 without Lee. A foul's going to be called on site. So how has Jeff Mittie adapted to the loss of Lee? Because it's not the first time. This is her 7th year, so we know she has battled injuries throughout her career. How has he kind of tweaked things here with her out of the lineup?
Well, I think offensively what he has done is switch and put Sundell into the spot offensively where Aoka Lee normally is, and allows her to pass from the low post, and that's opened up a lot of three-point opportunities. And it's opened up the paint for the perimeter players to get downhill and get to the rim and try to finish.
Jones on the cut out of the scramble, thrown up but not dropping in for Elisa Williams into the game for Iowa State. Sundell on the bench right now for K-State. Sanchez on the floor. Here's Walker. Walker can't get it, and Addy Brown's got the rebound. Crooks on the bench as well right now for Iowa State, so both teams going into their benches. Sydney Harris now comes off the bench for Iowa State. Here she is, 25, jogging by Ryan.
So much of the game plan for both these teams is player specific. You see Ryan comes off an on ball, a double's going to happen. Crooks gets the ball down low, they're going to double her. Everyone else is playing one-on-one.
Sorry, Christy. Harris with the blow by, but couldn't get the basket. Iowa State had a good look, couldn't cash in. And here's Sides on the push. Ryan is there with the save. Harris will launch from 3. Maupin, good rebound.
It was a really nice pass fake by Addy Brown. That's how she was able to get that ball all the way across the court for that three-point opportunity.
Glenn back out top for Walker. Sanchez for 2. Junior from Barcelona, averaging better than 4 points a game. She missed 7 games this season with a hand injury back in non-conference play. Brown lobs it up, just a little out of sync, intended for Williams. Turnover, Iowa State, K-State basketball. ESPN NBA Sunday doubleheader. Western Conference leading Thunder taking on the Spurs at 7 Eastern time. Then it's the Suns and the T-Wolves. Coverage steps with NBA Countdown at 6 Eastern on ESPN. You see Audi Crooks back into the game for Iowa State. Willie Hansford in as well for the Cyclones. Sanchez doesn't get the roll. Sundell back out there for K-State. Here's Jackson. Brown. Good defense by Kansas State, knocking it out of Brown's hands, and here's Sides. Sides with the return. Sanchez tiptoed down the lane. They play on. It's Iowa State basketball.
What's the old adage? Ball nose.
Crooks has it blocked. Imani Lester was there. Lester was a difference maker in that overtime win for Kansas State in Manhattan, the first meeting at the end of January. And here she is trying to get it done offensively.
You say difference maker, I say one of the key reasons they won in Manhattan. Her defense was on point. She had key assists, key rebounds down the stretch for the Wildcats.
Here are the numbers for Lester in that game. 6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals in 20 minutes. Glenn gets a hand in there. That's one thing that we've seen from Kansas State. One of their strengths, they've got length all over the court. And Sundell, nice adjustment and a foul by Sanchez. So it doesn't drop for Sundell, the foul on her teammate Sanchez. It'll be Iowa State basketball. Emily Ryan comes into the game here, and it looks like the story for Ryan has been managing her minutes all season long. And I think that window's opening a little bit further.
I think the screen's up because they just blew the window out. And don't get me wrong, this is not a decision being made by the coaching staff. This is from the medical staff. But they said this morning it has been moved to 30, 32 minutes a game. So in my mind, that means she's good to go.
Knocked away from Crooks. Here's Walker. And offensive foul is going to be called on Walker. That's the 5th foul called on Kansas State here in the first quarter. 1 foul called on Iowa State.
And I've been impressed. Iowa State's turned the ball over a couple times, but they haven't given up on plays. This time, it's Ariana Jackson who's getting back in transition defense to get that charge called against Walker. And you see her, she moves her feet. She gets there in time.
So that's 2 personals on Walker. She'll head to the bench. Ryan off the window. Iowa State got off to the hot start. They were 7 of their first 10, then missed 6 in a row before that Ryan made. Transition 3 won't drop. There's Lester in the middle of things against Iowa State again. She was fouled.
Well, both these point guards are tops in the nation in assists, but they also have the ability to back you down off the bounce. Both tremendous feel around the basket. Don't even need to see it until they release the ball.
Officials just want to make sure they've got the shot clock right. Jackson picks up her first personal. Addy Brown will come into the game. Brown had 20 points, 8 assists in that first meeting against Kansas State in Manhattan.
Yeah, I think this last blow for Brown was just to calm her down a little bit. Already 3 turnovers in this game.
Well, if Ryan's on the bench, she's on the ball. And we've already seen today, right? Kansas State's going to put pressure on whoever on the floor with the ball right now. Final seconds of the quarter. Sundell inside. No. Crooks trying to grab it. 3 seconds. 1 second. The shot clock expired, and that's going to be it for the first quarter. As expected, a tight game again between Iowa State and K-State. 14th ranked Wildcats close it down to a 2-point game at the end of one here in Ames. Let's go back to the 105th meeting all time between K-State and Iowa State, and the most recent meetings have been barn burners. 1-point game February 2023, double overtime game on Valentine's Day last season. Later last season, I can't keep it straight. Christy, jump in here. 82-76. And then earlier this season, it was an overtime game. Last meeting, January 30th, when Terrence Sides could not miss.
Hey, this young lady coming off the bench was just money. The number of times that Iowa State lost her and left her open, but it was the comeback by Iowa State when they were down and their ability to close the gap, had an opportunity at the buzzer, couldn't finish, and in the end, in overtime, just way too much. Serena Sundell for K-State.
Iowa State had a 7-0 run at the end of regulation. K-State went 6 for 6 from the field in overtime, and they won it by a final score of 87-79. Iowa State struggled with the K-State pressure in that game. 23 turnovers. K-State had 18 steals was the final number in that game.
And when you talk about a game that goes to overtime, you never want to look at a stat sheet as a coach afterwards and see that you gave the opponent 20 points off of your miscues. And that's what happened in that game for K-State.
Sanchez launches to start the second quarter, and it's off the mark. That last meeting here in Ames, Valentine's Day of last year, Iowa State winning in double overtime. Aoka Lee hit a buzzer beater to force OT for K-State, but Iowa State pulled it out in a high-scoring affair. Foul on Poindexter. That's her first, and a couple of free throws coming for an elite free throw shooter. Emily Ryan, 92% on the season, 88% for her career. Impossible to jinx her. That's how confident I was. Final ESPN Big Monday doubleheader of the season. A big one, 7 Eastern time tomorrow. Cooper Flag, second-ranked Duke hosting Wake Forest. Then fourth-ranked Houston and Kansas to cap it off. That's tomorrow on ESPN. Senior hitting a couple of free throws. They will have their senior day celebration after the game here today. So all business focusing on the game. Sanchez will try again. She's been active off the bench now, 1 for 5 from the field.
Well, Sanchez comes in and she's hunting shots. And I mean, she just plays with so much energy and emotion when she enters the field.
Brown fumbled it, but got it back. Jackson looking for Crooks, and a turnover. That's number 6 already for Iowa State. They average 14 a game, but there have been games this year where turnovers have really hurt Bill Fenley's team. I think of that West Virginia loss, 25 turnovers. That's happened to a lot of teams playing West Virginia this season.
But it's not the turnovers. It's more the live ball turnovers that have really hurt them against West Virginia, against Baylor, that allows teams to get out and run in transition.
Sides won't miss an open look from outside the three-point line too often, and here is Ryan.
And you've seen the last 2 possessions for Iowa State. They've mixed up their defense now, going to a little bit more of a matchup in the half court.
Jones comes up short, thought she was hit on the arm. That's what she's telling the official. And here is K-State back the other way. Sundell got a size advantage, but nobody there, and Sundell just covers her mouth after the turnover by K-State. So Emily Ryan was the first one out on the floor. She was doing some warm-ups, but her teammates had a surprise for her because the Emily Ryan Daggers and Dimes t-shirts were worn by all. And then when they kind of saw Emily over the corner, they just did this little group hug here. And you can see Emily's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's just get this out of the way. Turnover again by Iowa State. Here comes Walker the other way. Poindexter steps into a 3. Yes. First points for Poindexter from the field. She's got 4 for the game. Excellent three-point shooter. And Jones is fouled taking a 3, and she'll go to the line to shoot for 3.
Where you talked about the previous meeting in January, it was the turnovers that allowed Kansas State to get out and run. Same thing here this afternoon. Pushing tempo off of the turnover. Poindexter spotting up. Wide open look.
Jones going to the free throw line. 79% free throw shooter. Sides picked up her second personal foul. So you've got Walker with 2 and Sides with 2 for K-State. And Jones trying to find her spot from the free throw line. As we mentioned, her 7th straight starter since the Cincinnati game on February 5th. Went for 11 points, 9 rebounds, 36 minutes in that game. Bill Fenley said today she's our hardest worker. Felt like it was a reward in some ways for what she does. It doesn't matter if you're going to score a lot. You're going to do some of the dirty work and things that need to be done in a game, and she does that.
Well, she's a hard-nosed kid. I was just about to advise her, just back up to the three-point line and shoot that free throw.
You think that the odds go up for her after what we've seen so far today?
Absolutely.
2 for 2 from outside the three-point line?
Absolutely. 48% during this stretch of games in which she's starting. And that's what you want to do if you're a young person, that you get the opportunity to start. Reward your coach's decision and faith in you.
Inside out, open 3. Poindexter's got 7.
And if you watch Poindexter this season, you got to be on high alert defensively because she can get hot in a hurry.
K-State in front for the first time this afternoon.
Crooks got to get a touch. She had the seal when the ball was up top, and Emily Ryan just couldn't get it to her.
Harris rips it from outside. With Jones starting, Harris now comes off the bench, and Iowa State thinks she's better off the bench. She makes that impact off the bench. Foul now called on the drive.
Well, for K-State, it starts with dribble penetration. Everyone sucks into the ball line. Poindexter wraps around. That's how she's so open for that look. And on the other end for Iowa State, same thing inside. Defense collapse. Harris spots up for 3.
Harris made the 3 on one end, got called for the foul on the other end. You see the three-point shooting so far. We mentioned earlier, Christy, it was a struggle against a very good Baylor team. Not very few teams in the country playing as well as Baylor right now, and they've got that big showdown with TCU later on today in Waco. But K-State was 2 for 15 against Baylor. They did not get many open looks against that Baylor defense.
Well, I think that's one of the strengths of Baylor, that they're going to take away your first option. And they're probably going to take away your second option. You have to be patient and comfortable and going deep into your offensive opportunities.
So K-State's already knocked down 3 threes today after making just 2 against Baylor last time out. Crooks gets the touch on the inside, backs in for 2.
And I love that Audi Crooks took it baseline because the double's been coming from the middle. She knew that, took it baseline and scored.
Walker for Glenn. Crooks comes over to challenge her, and the foul's going to be called, I believe, on Jackson. It is.
Well, Audi Crooks has been working hard, and this is an ISO. They get everyone else on the weak side so that they can pull the help side away from Audi Crooks. She buries Sydney Taylor, takes it baseline because she knew the help side was coming. Great touch around the rim.
Crooks now is 6. She'll go to the bench with 6:13 to go in the second quarter. Probably a break right around that 5-minute media timeout. Glenn at the free throw line. Makes the first. Settles for 1 of 2. So with Crooks on the bench, how does Iowa State run their offense now?
I would expect to see some Addy Brown and Emily Ryan, but you can also spread the floor a little bit more now because Williams can step out a little bit further than Crooks likes to.
They get the open look. Ryan straight away for 3. The senior into double figures with 11. She's a perfect 4 for 4 in her final game here in Hilton Coliseum. Sundell has the open look and answers.
Well, one of your highest percentage three-point opportunities in the game of basketball is off an offensive rebound. That time, K-State made Iowa State pay for not boxing out.
First points for Sundell. She was 0 for 4 from the field before that make.
And there's the trap again on Emily Ryan when she tries to go off an on-ball screen.
Harris can't get the three, and a rebound by Taylor. Wildcats want to push off the miss. They get it to Poindexter, who is on target from outside the three-point line. 11 points for Poindexter, 3 of 5 from outside the arc. Harris appeared she had an open Williams on her left, but a foul is called, and that will get us to our media timeout. 4:55 to go before halftime.
Well, Eric, there's Hot, and then there's Tamira Poindexter. She knew she was putting this up before the ball hit her hands. Everything was set, nothing but the bottom of the net, guys.
It is, but thankfully we don't have to resort to a coin flip here. It's going to be determined on the court, as is the Big 12 championship when TCU takes on Baylor later today. First time in Big 12 history that it comes down to a winner-take-all game to close out the regular season, decide the #1 seed and the regular season champion. Here's Crooks back on the floor. That won't drop, but she's not done.
And so we're in the first quarter when we talked about the loss of Aoka Lee and what does it matter. Well, that's an example of she's on the floor. Crooks isn't getting that pass, first of all, and then she's definitely not getting the second chance opportunity.
Terrence Sides with the floater. You know, Kelsey and Rebecca mentioned the upsets today. That Georgia upset of Tennessee, big, and it impacts what's happening in the Big 12 because K-State moved up one spot with Tennessee dropping out of Charlie's projection in bracketology.
I think there's a lot of people in Manhattan, Kansas right now that are huge Georgia fans at the moment.
Brown can't get it. Maupin's got the rebound. Sundell with 4 minutes to go before halftime. Poindexter scored 10 of her 11 points here in the second quarter, and 10 of Kansas State's 16 total.
You see Iowa State icing those on-ball screens, keeping the ball on one side of the floor.
Off the Sanchez miss, the rebound for Iowa State. Ryan defended by Sides.
And now they're just going and blitzing Ryan.
They find the open shooter. Jones can't get it this time. That's her first miss after making her first 2 attempts from outside the three-point line. Maupin is fouled by Ryan.
So Jeff Mittie has 3 posts behind Aoka Lee, and each one gives him something a little different. What Eliza Maupin does is a rim runner. As you saw, sprinted the floor after the miss, got the ball, got the foul.
Foul on Ryan, her first. Substitution for K-State. Jalen Glenn will come back in. Sundell will get a rest. Lester getting ready to check in, but Maupin at the free throw line first. A reminder coming up, ESPN NBA Sunday doubleheader, all Western Conference doubleheader. Starts at 7 Eastern time, Spurs Suns. Then after that, it's T-Wolves of Suns, rather, Spurs Thunder. Let me get my Western Conference teams right. OKC, San Antonio in the leadoff spot coming up at 7 Eastern time. Sundell on the bench right now. Some pressure from K-State.
And so far in this game, Iowa State's done a much better job of handling the full court pressure. The turnovers have come in the half court majority for Iowa State.
Crooks is fouled. I can see her saying all day, all day. I don't know if she's saying all day I've been getting fouled or all day if I get it there, I'm at least getting to the free throw line. Probably both.
She's saying, get me the ball.
Glenn gets called for the foul. That's 3 now on Glenn. So a costly foul as one of the starters goes to the bench for K-State.
And not just a starter, a glue. Jeff Mittie has told us that it's almost impossible for him to ever get Glenn off the floor because she just does so many little things and covers for teammates all the time and can play pretty much any position on the floor.
Not even Jeff will leave her on the floor with 3 fouls in the first half.
And what's remarkable about the sophomore Audi Crooks, this is now her 63rd straight game reaching double figures. And yeah, we still got 3 minutes to go in the second quarter.
She just put her arms in the air trying to get the crowd going here at Hilton on a Sunday afternoon. Lester on the floor, defended by Crooks. Sides. Back out to Sundell, 7 on the shot clock. Sides on the drive, Brown there on the help. Sanchez with 3. Sides steps back, launches a 3, no good. Batted out to Sundown on a second chance here for K-State. Poindexter's had a good second quarter. Off to Sanchez. Three-pointer on the way. That's no good. Lester got a hand in there, but it's controlled now by Iowa State as Jackson comes away.
And when Audi Crooks is on the court, you can see Iowa State being very deliberate, wanting to get the ball down the floor and trying to get her a touch down low.
Ryan to Hansford, who'll try for three. No. Offensive rebound. Good work inside, and earning a trip to the free throw line is Jackson, the sophomore from Lemoyne. Showing that hard work, catching her breath, and she'll go to the line.
The 5'9" sophomore from Des Moines. Great positioning, keeps Sanchez on the inside and tracks that ball with her right hand to pull it in. And Eric, already in this game, 10 fouls have been called against K-State.
The foul on Sanchez, her second personal foul. So that's 4 K-State players with at least 2.
And why I bring that up is K-State on the season only averages 14 fouls a game.
Iowa State in front again. The crowd gets a little louder here at Hilton. Sims was fouled by Ryan, and that will be Ryan's second personal foul. Jackson with 2, Ryan with 2 for Iowa State.
I'm watching Bill Finley. He just turns his back. I don't think he has any indication to get Ryan out of off the court.
Now, if Ryan turns her back on the bench to make sure, just to let you know, like if you're sending somebody in for me, I don't see it. And Finley turning around as well.
Well, I did like her move. She immediately started coaching up her teammates and like, we're moving on. I'm not leaving this court.
Battle in the corner, won by K-State. Poindexter comes up short, and a rebound for Jones. 90 seconds to go before halftime. Into the hands of Jackson.
You see K-State, because of their length, they will switch so many screens around the perimeter. Makes it really difficult for Iowa State to get the advantage. They've got to take advantage of those switches.
Traveling violation called on Crooks. Turnover number 8 for Iowa State.
And the lob leads Crooks. She kept the pivot foot down, in my opinion. I didn't see the travel there.
Offensive foul called on Sundell. That is her first.
Jackson is Iowa State's best on-ball defender, and she's just defending Sundell. Sundell trying to get a little space, uses that forearm to try to create it. The official right there for the call.
Final minute of the second quarter. Ryan sets up. Can't get the 3. Sanchez with the rebound. First miss for Ryan. Sides on the push. Sanchez going to keep shooting. Just cannot find the range.
Well, Sanchez knows that Crooks is going to stay in the paint, so they're looking to get her some outside shots right now uncontested.
1 for 8 from the floor. Ryan will settle things down. About 8 seconds or so between the shot clock and the game clock. Ryan stumbling just a bit. Kicked over into the corner. 4 on the shot clock. Ryan's going to have to heave it. Got it off in time, but it rolls off the rim, and a rebound for K-State. 4 seconds to go before halftime. Sides open to launch for 3, and it's off the iron. And that will do it for the first half. Iowa State with a 1-point lead on senior day. Emily Ryan with 11 points to lead the Cyclones. Poindexter had 10 of her 11 in the second quarter. Surprise, surprise, another tight game between Iowa State and Kansas State.
For K-State, the rest of the team's 2-11. The advantage Iowa State has had is they can go inside and outside. Emily Ryan with 11 points, doing it off the bounce, doing it from deep, and doing it by getting it to Audi Crooks in the paint. Crooks with 10 points, and as usual, burying her defenders in the paint for those easy scoring opportunities.
Crooks with those 10 points, leading Iowa State to a 6-point lead at 1 point in the first half. You can see the paint points advantage for Crooks and Iowa State. K-State took a 34-31 lead in the second quarter, but they didn't score in the final 3:24 of the first half, allowing Iowa State to go back in front at halftime. Crooks showing a little range. You know, no matter where she is, she's got the soft touch, but stretching it out for her first points of the second half.
Well, that's definitely the home court touch there by Audi Crooks. But you almost decided by K-State, like, hey, we're going to give her that shot. We don't want to let her have the ball down low.
Walker, defended by Ryan. Walker on the drive, couldn't get it, and Crooks got hit on the arm. It looked like she's shaking it off as she's heading up the court. Last touch by K-State, Iowa State basketball.
And as soon as that ball went out of bounds, Jeff Minnie's telling his team, get up for the press. And you see the trap immediately, but Addy Brown dribbles out of it.
Remember, Glenn with 3 personal fouls in the first half on the floor here. And Crooks going to get called for the offensive foul. That's her first. Wrap that arm around, according to Michael McConnell. No protest from the Iowa State bench or anybody in Iowa State colors in this building. Poindexter. Tamara was 3 of 6 from outside the three-point line. The rest of the team 2 for 11 outside the line in the first half. And Ziana Walker says, I'm going to make this one, which she does, to tie it at 37.
Well, Eric, we know that these two teams know one another really well. Second meeting of the season. And what I've seen are players cheating plays. They know the set calls. They're beating them to spots. And so that time Walker read it, and another charge coming for Audi Crooks.
Back-to-back offensive fouls called on Audi Crooks.
Well, Taylor just bodying up there, and she led with the elbow. That's what got the quick whistle from the official.
Definitely made contact with the elbow. You see Crooks and Taylor laughing about it a little bit. Crooks probably saying something about, I didn't hit you that hard. That was a bit of a flop, but the foul was called, and Taylor's got a rebound here for a second chance. Rebound for Jones, off the miss by Poindexter. Brown underneath. Ryan.
You got to give her the ball down there.
Her is Crooks. Down there is her office, and if she gets it down there, time to close up the office because it's going in. 14 points for Audi, 2-point lead. K-State can't go in front. Poindexter knocked it away, and a foul is going to be called on Poindexter. It's called from near midcourt, and that's got Jeff Mitty fired up, the Kansas State head coach. He has to be protesting that the foul was called by the official out near midcourt while there were 2 officials close to this contact. Kicked by Walker.
With Crooks sealing for that entry pass, the angle is so important because you can't lead her much. She's going to seal, and you need to deliver it. And that time, as Emily Ryan was off the dribble, she just needed one more dribble before trying to make that pass.
Crooks for Jones. Jones returns it for Crooks. Shakes off a couple of defenders. Shows that strength. Go ahead and flex if you want, Audi. Chance for a 3-point play.
And Eric Freed's over here flexing for you, Audi Crooks. She kicks it out, follows the pass, double comes, she splits it, and she doesn't rush the shot. She just gets past the weak side defender and then just takes it up strong.
7 of 10 from the field. Holding at 16 points. Foul on Taylor, her first.
K-State puts so much pressure on the defense because they do so many gives and goes as well as dribble handoffs. But I got to compliment Iowa State's half-court defense. It's been really good here so far today.
Iowa State also doing a good job on the glass. Christy, they're a +4 in rebounding margin against the K-State team That's second in the Big 12 in rebounding margin. Crooks waits for the traffic to clear. Already 8 in the quarter, but Crooks is down and she's got her hand up by her right eye. They play on. Poindexter skies for the offensive rebound. So now Crooks is up, and now Addy Brown is helped up on her feet.
Well, Crooks was running back down the floor in transition and just got tripped. No need for a foul there, but hit the floor hard, unfortunately. She's running and just trips.
Her own teammate.
Yeah.
She's okay by the looks of it. Addy Brown seems to be okay. Emily Ryan is heading to the sideline. I think she's got a little blood on her jersey, perhaps, so she's being cleaned up.
Well, that whole possession just got physical because Jones is also coming out of the game saying, I got elbowed.
They're not even going to bother cleaning up the jersey right now as Emily Ryan.
Well, if you've been here as long as Emily Ryan, how many jerseys do you think
You
she
don't
has?
need a number. We know who you are, Emily. It's your day, senior day, fifth-year senior. It's interesting this week, still attending to her. That's where the blood's coming from on her right thumb. And are the officials going to go to the monitor here?
No coach wants your fate to be left up to a coin flip.
So they'll be the #1 seed in the SEC tournament in Greenville, South Carolina, which starts on Wednesday. Big 12 tournament starts on Wednesday in Kansas City. Iowa State knows they will be the #7 seed, and they will play their first game Thursday evening against the winner of the 10-15 game. Iowa State out of the media timeout, gets the basket. The officials went to the monitor. There was no foul that they missed, just some incidental contact, answered on the other end by Poindexter for K-State, so the teams trading baskets out of the timeout.
And one part of the press breaker right now with no Emily Ryan on the floor. Audi Crooks is being a big part of the press breaker, bringing her up to be an outlet pass for the guards.
Picking up the dribble and the turnover. Addy Brown has had her hands full with this K-State defense. Walker transition three, no good, and a rebound for Lily Hansford for Iowa State. Emily Ryan on the bench right now. She will check into the game wearing number 52 in a moment. Her number 11 with some blood on it that they couldn't get off. Addy Brown will take a three and make it.
K-State's been blitzing Addy Brown, so I think she just decided, I'm getting rid of this before you can come at me.
I'm going to get aggressive on the offensive end a little bit. And a foul called on K-State. Maupin gets whistled for the foul. And a timeout being called by the Wildcats in what is now a 7-point game. Emily Ryan on senior day pumping up her teammates as they head to the bench. Playing for the regular season championship later on in Waco, so things likely will change here. But this is where it stands right now. And right now Kansas State on shaky ground when it comes to getting that double bye in Kansas City.
And we know how important the double bye is for teams, because you don't want to have to play more than 3 straight days to try to cut down the nets.
Turnover out of the timeout. Glenn gets it off the tip and knocks down the three. 8 made 3 for K-State. More pressure from Kansas State in the backcourt. Brown up to Harris. Thought about it. Now we'll send it back to Ryan.
And Maupin's going to try to front Crooks down on the block.
Harris can't knock down the three. There's Crooks, puts it in and one. A chance for a three-point play.
And Sundell can't believe it. Offside rebound there by Crooks, and I don't see any contact there by Crooks, and then kind of over the back. Sundell's up underneath her. From our angle, I couldn't see a foul there either.
Maupin gets called for the second personal foul.
Hence why Sundell was shocked that it was on her.
Can't finish off the three-point play. Rebound by Sundell. Crooks with 20 for the 20th time this season and the 37th time in her career. Now she's got her 4th rebound. Out to Brown. Brown gets the roll.
And an assist should be added to Audi Crooks' total, because that was only 1 dribble by Addy Brown.
8-point lead for the Cyclones, their largest of the game. And a timeout's going to be called by Kansas State. 4:10 to go in the third quarter. And Jeff Mittie trying to keep us cool. Just to follow up what Charlie Cream was talking about, Christy, how important this is for Iowa State. They're in the tournament right now, but if they were to lose this game and then lose in the Big 12 tournament, play only one game, the ice would be pretty thin. This would lock it up. This will give them their first quad one win. They're 0-7 against ranked teams. They played a tough schedule this season. Certainly when you look at who they played in the non-conference, South Carolina, UConn, and Iowa in a 20-day span. But this would ensure their spot in the NCAA tournament. Last touched by Kansas State to be Iowa State basketball.
And Eric, we've worked together long enough that you know I believe in scheduling hard. And that is what Iowa State did. And I believe committee members should always reward tough scheduling. It's the only way to grow our game. And so while they don't have that quad one win yet, I like the fact that right now Charlie Cream is saying they're in the field. But as I will say, for fans and coaches alike, if you want to sleep well going to Selection Sunday, you need to stockpile a couple of wins right now.
Crooks, beautiful feed, and Audi Crooks scores again. 22.
Well, Eric, just as impressive as that finish by Crooks is knowing Maupin's in the game. She finished and she sprinted the floor in transition defense. Maupin trying to front, great lead pass by Ryan. Great hands by Crooks, and then she sprints to make sure Maupin doesn't get the run out on the other end.
That's 6 assists now for Ryan Christie, and Iowa State has 17 assists on 21 made field goals.
And that's what's beautiful about Iowa State's offense. Both these teams, honestly, when their offenses are clicking, it is selfless basketball, and each player is trying to set up their teammates for great looks.
Jackson picked up her third personal foul. She heads to the bench. Sundell throws it to the corner. Poindexter open look. That's one thing about Kansas State. They may be down by 10 right now, and a foul is called in the backcourt. They have the shooting to get them back into a game very quickly. But can they get stops on the other end? That's been the issue because Iowa State is 9 for 10 from the field in the third quarter, and now they're in the bonus and heading to the free throw line.
And Eric, I got to give kudos to Audi Crooks. Sundell was backing down with the ball in her hand. She went over and doubled. On that skip pass, she ran to Lester to get the box out, and that's why she's getting to the free throw line, because she had inside position on that rebound.
Poindexter picks up the foul, her third personal, and Crooks connects from the free throw line. Audi joined the 1,000-point club against Utah on January 5th in just her 49th career game. I think that falls under the category of prolific scorer. This quarter dominated by Iowa State. They have outscored Kansas State 22-11, and the crowd could sense it. Looking for the knockout punch. Will it start with a stop on the defensive end?
And Sanchez was just half popped there late getting sides the ball, or she had an open look.
Walker defended by Harris. Box out by Crooks, had the position for the rebound. Ryan defended by Sides, 2:45 to go in the quarter. Brown, and a foul's going to be called on Crooks, so she picks up her third foul of this quarter, giving her 3 for the game.
Well, right now, the only person stopping Audi Crooks is Audi Crooks with the 3 fouls. But we started this game, talk about in wins and losses, K-State from the three-point line as well as assists. And today in this game, 8 of 28, but only 29% from the field.
Sundell will try to back in Ryan. 2 veterans of the Big 12 going head-to-head. Ryan wins that battle.
And Eric, the last time K-State ran that play, a double came. That time they didn't. I think Sundell was a little taken aback that the double didn't come that time.
Addy Brown looking for the call, doesn't get it. Lester and Crooks get tangled up. And a foul is going to be called on Lester. Crooks grabbing at her face. Lester's got it. Just trying to hold on to it, and I wonder if they'll go to the monitor here.
It looks like they are.
Yeah, Crooks got up in the face too.
Previous play is under review.
And they will go to the monitor as the teams head to the bench.
That should be called. I mean, that was
foul on Lester getting a left elbow up there.
Yes.
Could make an argument for K-State that Crooks could have been called for a fourth foul reaching in on Lester right away. And that was not called. So they're at the monitor here. Now the question would be, it was a common foul on the floor. At least that was the indication. We didn't get the confirmation of that they're just looking at the monitor here. Is there enough to say that's an intentional foul on Lester? I would say no. What would you say?
I would like to see that they keep it that way. However, there was the unnecessary swinging of that off arm. I also haven't.
You're hedging.
I mean, yeah, I haven't been spot on with the officials on these intentional fouls this week.
I'm trying to give you a chance to like increase your success rate here. So all they're looking at here is just if it's going to be an intentional foul. They cannot look at it and say, well, there was a foul we missed on Crooks on the reach-in, on a common foul. Unless Crooks made contact with a face that we don't see. She got up pretty high with those right fingers there.
Right.
So that would be one thing they could be looking at. You see Crooks right away going to the face, and Audi seems to be okay. Standing behind Bill Fenley there. Officials with the long look. Audi Crooks has dominated this quarter, Christy. 24 points for the game, 14 coming here in the third quarter. Iowa State 9 of 11 from the field, and Audi Crooks is a perfect 6 for 6 from the field this quarter.
It's pretty efficient for the sophomore, to say the least. And you know, we talked about during the break, K-State just doesn't have an answer right now, because when they're trying to crowd the paint and keep Crooks from getting the ball, the skip passes have been there, and Iowa State's made the outside shot. When they try to defend outside, Crooks has feasted.
10 made field goals today, gives her 281 made field goals this season. That's number one in Division I. That's how you get to averaging 22.6 points per game. Officials are away from the monitor. Now they've huddled up to talk things through.
I don't feel like we're going to get a quick decision, because they just sent K-State back to their bench.
You think they're going back to the monitor? We're going to have the dreaded back to the monitor a second time review? Or we're going to the microphone? Microphone, yes.
After review, we have an intentional foul on purple 32 for unnecessary contact. Any player from Iowa State will shoot 2 free throws, and they'll get the ball at half court.
I'm going to call that a win for you, even though you didn't go all in for that. You're the one who just mentioned that part of it, so I'm going to say you got that right.
I got to give my kudos to the person who deserves it, and that's Penny Davis, for our quick little cheat sheet that we use on the sideline in games. Listen, I know fans won't, a lot of K-State fans won't like that call, but it is the rule, and that's our officials' job, is to enforce the rules as written.
So Emily Ryan, I think she likes wearing that 52. She may change to an 11 for the senior day ceremony after the game. Maybe it's at the dry cleaner right now being cleaned up because there's blood on it, but she's been on target with 11 or 52 today. 4 for 6 from the field, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 6 assists to go along with her 13 points. 10 straight points scored by Iowa State, and they have the basketball.
And this game is by no way over, but when you ISO her and there's no help side, it's going to be a tough uphill climb for K-State.
16-point lead for the Cyclones. Sundell hangs in the air and gets it to drop. It's been a quiet day offensively for Serena Sundell. 5 points to go along with 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Lily Talalay into the game for Iowa State, number 9. There to set the screen, and a traveling violation is called. Turnover by Iowa State. That's their 14th. Just about the only thing that they have not handled well today is taking care of the basketball.
Well, and this is a set play out of the timeout by Iowa State, and she gets the defender on her high hip and then just reverse dribbles, and you see there's no help side because everyone else is cleared out for Iowa State. Great play, better execution by Emily Ryan. And here's the ISO for Sundell to back her defender down.
Brown is that defender. Kick to the corner, three-pointer on the way from Glenn, no good, and Talalay has the rebound and Sides gets called for the foul. So they'll walk back down to the other end of the court for free throws here with 1:08 to go in the third quarter. And the sophomore from New Zealand who played at UMass last season will step to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Before the second one, I have a chance to remind you that the ESPN NBA Sunday doubleheader, Western Conference leading Thunder, Spurs, 7 Eastern. Then it's the Suns and the T-Wolves. All starts with NBA Countdown at 6 Eastern. .15 Iowa State lead, final minute, third quarter. Sides has been held in check today by this Iowa State defense.
They've run her off the three-point line consistently and used their length to try to defend her.
Forcing her to take a deep three. She's now 0 for 7 from outside the three-point line. Offensive rebound gives K-State a second chance. Sundell. Back to Lester. Back to Sundell. Foul on the Cyclones, Brown.
Great decision by Lester there. Sundell gave it up, posted up, got the positioning, and Lester found her.
Second foul on Brown. Audi Crooks will come back into the game for Iowa State as Talalay will check out. I wonder if Emily Ryan's cut reopened. Yeah, it looks like it did. So that was the issue earlier, I think. So now they're gonna do a little handiwork, very quick work. I mean, Emily Ryan's like, it's senior day. It's my last game in this building. It's gonna take a little something more than a flesh wound for me to leave the court under any circumstances. Crowd is turned out here again at Hilton. Big crowd on a Sunday afternoon for senior day, and they'll do the ceremony after the game. I don't think anybody's going to leave because they'll stick around to honor one of the most accomplished players in Iowa State history post-game.
Well, I implore the fans here not to, because of what Emily Ryan has meant to Iowa State, what Emily Ryan has meant to the Big 12, what Emily Ryan has meant to women's basketball during her career.
Shot clock is off. Brown holding for one. Sanchez there defensively. Brown wants Crooks to post up. 4 seconds. Brown will step back. Can't get the three. One of the rare misses for Iowa State in that third quarter. They were 10 for 13 from the field, stretching their lead to 13 points at the end of 3 quarters here in Ames.
Wooden Watch presented by Principal, and it's all Audi Crooks here today at Ames. She's done it from the outside. She is sealed, and she has demanded the ball from her teammates. She's been great on the glass for Iowa State. She's used her strength, she's used her hands, she's used her court vision to create scoring opportunities for herself and her teammates. Audi Crooks already up to 24 points in this game.
You can see the numbers and the Wooden Watch scoring averages. Do you care to predict who the player of the year will be in the Big 12? The ballots are due at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
A couple of things. I think it's going to be really interesting because there's different ways of voting. Best player, best team.
Okay.
It's a different Big 12 season in terms of not everyone is playing one another home and away. So sometimes you only play go against a player one time. Does that affect it? I'm going to say, especially after what we've seen today, Audi Crooks needs to be in the discussion. Serena Sundell hasn't had her A+ game today, but she's one of my front runners for it. Haley Van Lith as well from TCU.
Sedona Prince, J.J. Quinterly.
Absolutely. So coaches of the Big 12, good luck.
So that's Christy's roundabout way of not telling you
I'm hedging big time. It's the middle child in me.
Sundell on the turnaround. That won't drop. Sides picks up the rebound. Second chance here for Glenn, who steps into a three. That won't drop. Well, K-State's gotten some looks. They're just not dropping here today. 31 pulls from outside the three-point line. Jackson misses the three for Iowa State.
If you're K-State, you're a veteran ball club. You just keep going at it. They've got to start falling eventually.
Sanchez can't get that one. Cold shooting half continues for Kansas State. 22% from the floor this half, 29% from the game. Emily Ryan back to her familiar number 11 for the fourth quarter. They got it cleaned up.
And Emily Ryan just being the consummate point guard, just dictating the pace, picking the defense apart.
Dribbles in. She's got 17 points to go along with 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Sundell trying to post up on Jackson. Lester trying to drive on Cooks for 2.
Nice job by Lester. You've got to make teams pay for the double teams, and Crooks came over to double on Sundell when she got in the low post, and so great ball movement by K-State to get those 2.
Crooks turn around, can't get it. Glenn and Jones got tangled up away from the ball. Nothing called there, and Crooks, bit of a heat check perhaps. I think she's hearing it from the coaches on the bench. Like, you know what, once in a while I got to just take something deep from my toolkit.
My gut
that one I couldn't quite reach in the bottom of the kit.
My gut says that'll be in film tomorrow.
First highlight shown in film if this is a win.
Teachable moment. That's what coaches call it.
Well,
nice
good
pass.
Sundell finds Lester and 1. Well, if you think Kansas State is going to stop playing, you've got another thing coming, because they're going to keep working. They play so hard, and they play the full game. And Lester talking a little bit. Jackson picks up her 4th. If you're K-State, you have a chance for it to be a 10-point game. Your pressure has worked here today, although off the miss, no press now. Although Glenn will slow things down in the backcourt. K-State very aggressive with the defense. All over Ryan, and a foul is called. Sides gets called for her 4th personal.
And it's just a different feel from Iowa State today versus this full court pressure of K-State versus what we saw at the end of January. And Brown is a pseudo point guard on the floor for you. We know Jackson is as well. And then Emily Ryan's just been great in her decision making against the full court pressure.
Ryan splits defenders, finds Crooks, gets 2 defenders in the air, gets the contact, and 1. Ryan is putting on a show on senior day. The maestro in control.
Emily Ryan now up to 7 assists, and Crooks just patient with the double coming, with the flyby, and then takes it up through the contact off the glass.
Lisa and Jim in Hilton for a final time, making the trip over from Claflin, Kansas. Their daughter, the career assist leader at Iowa State, top 10 on the all-time list. If this score holds, what a way to go out here for Emily Ryan in her final game at Hilton Coliseum. Sides for Glenn. 7 minutes to play. Sides launches a deep 3 and drains it after going 0 for 7 from beyond the arc. Terrence Sides finally connects from deep.
Shooter's gonna shoot. Big bucket there for K-State.
Jones will try to answer, and does. Kelsey Joens hit a couple of threes to get the game going. She answers back with a 3, and a timeout is called by Jeff Mitty.
Well, Eric, I said a shooter's gonna shoot, and it is just ball in. Emily Ryan sees the open Kelsey Joens in the corner. Huge bucket for Iowa State.
That's Christy Thomascutty's speed on the treadmill this morning at the hotel. As fast as you can go. And the crowd during this media timeout doing their thing here at Hilton Coliseum. Playing to celebrate in this building. 14-2 at home this season, looking for their first win over a ranked opponent this year. This would be a huge one, Christy. Put them in position, leave no doubt about the NCAA tournament, help their seeding, and give them a boost heading into the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, which starts on Wednesday.
Absolutely. We started this by saying they won 5 of their last 6. If they hang on, this will be 6 of 7. And we can talk about Big 12. We can talk about NCAA, but you always want to go into tournament action with the momentum, and that's what right now Iowa State has.
29 now for Crooks, 12 of 16 from the field, 16-point lead. Sides, thought she had a teammate, but threw it away. So you mentioned, Christy, Iowa State, if this win holds, they've won 6 of 7. What's been different about Iowa State over these last couple of weeks? Where are the areas of improvement that you've seen the most?
Well, I think earlier this season we saw it really struggle to get the ball inside to Crooks. She could have a seal, they'd miss her, they just couldn't deliver it. So much of it was just only Addy Brown or Emily Ryan being able to get it in. And then when Emily Ryan would go to the bench, no one could get Crooks the ball. I've seen the improvement of Jackson to get it inside. I've seen the improvement of Kelsey Joens as well as Addy Brown getting Crooks the ball when she's open.
Poindexter had the block, but Crooks stuck with it, put it in for 2 more. 31 for Audi Crooks.
And Eric, most importantly, I feel like the defense of Iowa State has come so far in the last month.
Sundell tried to hold on to it. Last touch by Iowa State. It'll be K-State basketball. Kennedy Taylor will come in for the Wildcats. Crooks' season high is 33 points, which she's done 3 times this year. Of course, her memorable career high was 40 against Maryland in the NCAA tournament a season ago when she was 18 of 20 from the field. Another elite shooting game for her here today. Sundell for 2.
And as much as I talk about the momentum for Iowa State, this is important 5 minutes for K-State. Just right the ship. 1 possession at a time on both ends of the floor. Their defense hasn't consistently been connected here today, especially this second half. Start getting some stops.
Brown is fouled by Glenn. That will be her 4th. The Iowa State basketball on the baseline. So barring a comeback here by Kansas State, they are going to have to hope for teams in that area code that they are in right now. The 14, 15, 16, those spots for the NCAA tournament field, that there's some movement there. They got some movement today. There's Crooks matching her season high. 4th time this year she's gone for 33 points. Happened today with Tennessee's loss to Georgia. That helped Kansas State out. Kansas State's going to have to help themselves at the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. Ryan's got it, 4.5 to play. Back out to Brown. Brown gets called for the offensive foul.
Was that like the 6th offensive foul called today between both teams? And a lot of it's just been the extra hand, just trying to create space.
Talalay comes back in for Iowa State as Harris will sit down and Crooks will check out. That's it for Audi. It was another great night. 33 points, 14 of 18 shooting, and 9 rebounds. So she's just a rebound away from a double-double. And a turnover by K-State. That's their 9th. Ryan needs 1 assist for a double-double. She's got 9 assists to go along with her 17 points. Sanchez with the block. Ryan knocked it out of play. K-State basketball inside of 4 to play. Walker back on for K-State as Sides will check out.
Eric, the biggest difference I see from today's matchup from the one in January, Iowa State had 16 turnovers today. The difference, K-State could only convert that into 6 points, unlike the 23 they got last time.
Sanchez a chance for a 3-point play. Well, remember that first meeting, too. Iowa State had that 7-0 run. We showed you the highlights before, and Ryan had a 3 to win it that hit the iron, but then in overtime, K-State did not miss. So Crooks comes back into the game. Ryan's still on the floor. 3:48 to go, and Sanchez at the free throw line.
I was going to say when Bill Finley pulled Crooks, I'm like, I wouldn't pull her just yet. We know how these two teams compete and what the history has been between them.
So you were pretty certain it wasn't a one-way trip to the bench, that there was going to be a return to the court?
Well, I'm no Bill Finley, but I think Sanchez's quick score probably said, hey, let's just get a little bit more of a buffer here.
Glenn comes out to help defensively. 6 on the shot clock. Jones tracks it down with 3, leaning in, too strong, and a rebound. Last touch by K-State, but no reset of the shot clock. 0.3 to shoot here for Iowa State. So it's got to be a tip. 4/10 you can catch and shoot. 3/10 it's got to be a tip. Nope, that was catch and shoot. Michael McConnell. Because it was secured in the hand and she shoved it up, it has to be a set in volleyball. Yes. That's the right call.
I love the play, though. Get Audi Crooks out of there, the bigger defender. Brown just a little bit quicker off her feet, and you see the ball in the hand, so shot clock starts.
Crowd doesn't agree, but that's the right call by the book.
Yes.
Kansas State gets the hoop to make it a 14-point game. Clock comes under 3 minutes. Walker going to make Ryan work for it, and away from the ball, there's a foul called on Sanchez, who was working against Crooks.
Sanchez was trying to prevent Crooks from getting the position, and she was using her arms a little bit too much there. And she didn't argue with the call. She was smiling immediately.
Ryan gets another assist. Brown gets the bucket and a chance for a three-point play. Assist number 10 for Emily Ryan. And Iowa State a step closer to a big win over K-State.
Well, double-double for Emily Ryan with that 10th assist, and just reads it all the way. Sees that Sundell is chasing Addy Brown, leads her to the basket for the and one opportunity.
Off the miss of the free throw, thrown away by K-State. Iowa State will have it with 2:41 to go. 17th double-double of Emily Ryan's career. She's in a club with Caitlin and Sabrina.
Oh, look at you with a first-name basis.
Well,
there.
I mean, like if you're in that kind of club, you're on a first-name basis. So welcome, Emily. She's in the club. She's been in the club, tipped away by Walker.
I think here in Ames, Emily owns the club.
It was funny. She was not sentimental at all leading up to the game, talking about senior day. She was so focused on the game, and she knows what's at stake. Trying to ensure their spot in the NCAA tournament. Crooks goes down. So here's that 1,500, 600, 900 in Division I all-time with Ryan and Clark and Ionescu. I'll tell you what, Emily has paid the price here on senior day.
Just a typical day at the office for Emily Ryan.
The athletic trainer for Iowa State is Tessa Bakumini. You know, this is a big wrestling area, as you well know. There's that wrestling tradition, like after that last time on the mat, you leave your shoes on the mat. She's leaving blood on the mat. I want her to leave her shoes on the court when she's done here today. That would be a nice touch.
Well, here's the bottom line. Bill Finley's going to be leaving a lot of tears on the court here today.
So Emily was not sentimental about it. I do believe she will be. We've been tipped off that they're going to show a tribute video after the game that even Emily will get teary, but Bill said, oh yeah, no, I'm going to be crying like a baby. I'm going to be one who's going to be unloading the tears here when they honor Emily Ryan. Foul called on K-State with 2:10 to go.
I think this is the former coach in me. I just have so much respect for how Emily Ryan approaches the game, plays the game, and what a teammate she is. She is truly an extension of Bill Finley on the court. Watching practices, watching her on the court, she's always talking. She's getting her teammates to the right spot at the right time. She finds her teammates and gets them the ball at the right spot and right time.
Crooks back at the free throw line, adding to her title. ESPN Big Monday doubleheader tomorrow. The final one of the season starts at 7 Eastern time. Cooper Flag, number 2 Duke hosting Wake Forest, and 4th ranked Houston taking on Kansas in a Big 12 showdown. That's tomorrow on ESPN. Audie's up to 36, so she's 4 away from her career high. She does have a double-double, got the 10 rebounds, so that is her 10th double-double this season and her 18th career double-double. 2:02 to go, and a whistle and a foul against Iowa State.
They got Jackson on pushing through that screen being set for Sundell.
So Jackson's going to foul out, but she played some impactful minutes in the first half, didn't she?
I thought she was great defensively, took a couple of big charges. I thought when Emily Ryan went to the bench, she handled the ball extremely well. She was just energetic today.
Ryan tips it in the hands of Harris. Final 2 minutes of the season here at Hilton Coliseum. Iowa State will improve to 15-2 at home. Ryan tried to flip it up, but Walker knocked it out of bounds. It'll be Iowa State basketball, 12 to shoot for the Cyclones. So their next game will be Thursday, 5:30 Central Time, against the winner of the 10-15 game, likely Kansas and Arizona State. But here's the beauty of the final day of the Big 12 season. So much had to be determined in the top half of the standings to set the seeding, including at the top of the standings, number 1 on the line between TCU and Baylor. TCU winners of 6 straight, Baylor's winners of 9 in a row.
Well, Eric, when 2 of the 4 games yesterday went to overtime, I knew we were in for a great day today.
Maddie Wilkie with the highlight of the weekend with the half-court game winner for Utah in overtime to knock off their arch rivals, BYU. Good way to head into Big 12 play. Thrown into the backcourt, thrown away. Picked up by Glenn. Brown will let her go, and Glenn couldn't get the rebound. Knocked away by Sundell. The Iowa State basketball with 1:26 to go.
Unfortunately, I think that play kind of embodies the day for K-State. Great effort, but just could not get the ball to fall for them today.
So for Kansas State, they need to know their opponent, but they will not get the double bye. They will play on Thursday, as will Iowa State in Kansas City at the Big 12 tournament. So again, after that final game between TCU and Baylor, the seeding will be set. And now the time for Emily Ryan to leave the floor at Hilton one final time.
I'm fairly certain Bill Finley has already started shedding the tears.
Question is Emily crying?
Yes,
it looks
she
like
is.
it started
Yes,
for
she
her. Entry to Crooks knocked away. I think they probably will, now Bill Finley's going to get Audi Crooks out of the game, and another big round of applause to come for the sophomore. 36 for Audi today. Iowa State needed this game. They needed a quad 1 win. They needed to knock off a top 25 team. And you can just tell the way that Crooks and Ryan played. You mentioned the little things that Jackson did, and those who added little things for Iowa State. Their biggest win of the season came at the biggest moment of the season.
And backs against the wall. They needed it. And again, Charlie Cream, our rectologist, has said they're in the field. This is about trying to just take it out of anyone else's hands, not needing help from other opponents, other people around the country. Iowa State took advantage of a great opportunity here this afternoon.
Poindexter at the free throw line in the final minute now for K-State. She's leading them in scoring today with 17 points. Had that big second quarter. Held pretty much in check since then. 11 first half points, 6 since then. Reagan Wilson into the game for Iowa State. K-State still swarming the ball. And a foul's going to be called on K-State with 47 seconds to go.
That's going to be the 5th on Poindexter.
And that's going to be it for Poindexter. She fouls out 17 points for her today to lead K-State in scoring. Sides will come back in. And Sydney Harris will head to the free throw line. One thing we know for sure about the Big 12 tournament, we're looking forward to being there. It all starts Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. Central Time. It's wide open.
Yes.
TCU's been very impressive. Baylor's been on quite the run. Oklahoma State, winners of 3 straight heading into the final game of the regular season today. They're a top 25 team. We've seen Iowa State, what they can do, and what Kansas State has done throughout the season. The big thing for Kansas State, again, no Aoka Lee in the Big 12 tournament. Waiting until the NCAA tournament for her to step onto the court. But there are a handful of teams that can make a run and win that Big 12 championship in KC.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been what this entire Big 12 regular season has been about. No one is safe, home or away. Every team better bring their A game.
Perhaps capping the scoring for Iowa State, Taulale with the field goal. Cyclones have put 85 on the board, and K-State will just dribble it out, and that will give the Hilton crowd a chance to come to their feet and pay tribute to the Cyclones, who come up with a top 25 win on the final day of the regular season. Great second half for Bill Fenley's team. They outscored Kansas State 50-29 after halftime. The Ryan and Crooks combination worked quite well today for Iowa State. Emily Ryan with the double-double, 17 points, 10 assists, added 7 rebounds, by the way. She was 6 of 10 from the field. And Audi Crooks, 36 points, a new season high, 4 shy of her career high. 14 of 18 from the field. She added 10 rebounds, and for good measure, she added 3 assists.
Well, a lot of offensive numbers there. I thought the team defense was really good by Iowa State today as well.
Big smile on the face of Emily Ryan. Emily, here's okay?
Yep, I got you.
Okay, great. Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Could you have drawn it up any better on senior day, your final game here at Hilton, than what happened here today?
No, it doesn't get better than playing in front of these fans and playing with this team and representing this university. So I'm just so grateful that I had this opportunity, and I could never thank Iowa State enough for everything they've done for me.
Emily, can you talk about that embrace with your head coach, Bill Fenley, as you came off the floor this final time?
Yeah, I mean, that man means the world to me. Oh gosh, guys, he's done more for me and my family than I could ever describe, and so I'm just glad we were able to get the win for the team, and that's the most important thing today.
You've kept it together all week.
Yeah.
You know you're allowed to let it go a little bit too.
Yeah, we'll see when that video plays what happens. I'm not.
What has it meant to you to play? This crew right here can't wait to get with you. What has it meant to be with this crew? Because there's been some ups and downs this year, but you're on and up right now.
Yeah.
For certain.
Yeah, I mean, these guys show up the same way every single day. They care for each other, and I mean, just look at them. It's so fun to play with them and to get to work with them every single day.
You guys can come over if you will. Yeah, they're just waiting for this. We got to see the love here. Congratulations, Emily. Enjoy the ceremony.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Go Cyclones!
They were so patient and so respectful, but I couldn't wait any longer. Congratulations to Emily and Iowa State. We'll see them in Kansas City. See you in Kansas City.
Big 12 time.
It is time for the tournament. For Christy Thomas-Scuddy and our entire crew, I'm Eric Freed. They're dancing here in Ames. So long from Hilton.